guys? Welcome back to the GM. It is your guy Boulanger, and up next, we're going to be right back into the conversation, the cheat code, unlocking Lamar Jackson. And in this video in particular, we're going to be identifying where Lamar Jackson should be properly ranked amongst elite quarterbacks in the NFL. Do me a quick favor, hit like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you get updates when we upload new content. Let's go. So, this where Lamar Jackson ranks has been a conversation that's been ongoing up and down every year. I've seen him in 2019 win the MVP, which would have should have put him at the very top, at least for that time period. I seen him come down off that mountain a little bit in 2020, 2021, and 2022, kind of on a consistent decline. Not that he was declining, but the results were on a decline. And so where does he fall? I think he's certainly still amongst the top 10. And I'll share with you in a minute where I think he ranks. But I'm gonna discuss a little bit about some rankings that go back as far as April. I read two articles in May. I recently read them, is what I'm saying. And then I read one as recent as June 11th as I was doing some research, just trying to find out, across the board, across different platforms, whether it was CBS Sports, whether it was ESPN, whether it was Sports Illustrated, so on and so forth, which media source had him ranked where. And pretty consistently, I saw Lamar ranked no higher than 6 and as low as 8. In the most recent one in June 11th on ROTO Baller, he was ranked 8 behind guys in order behind these guys. Trevor Lawrence at 7, Justin Herbert at 6, Aaron Rodgers at 5. I believe Jalen Hurts was 4. I believe Joe Burrow was 3, Josh Allen 2, and of course, the top of the mountain would have been Patrick Mahomes. And in that article in particular, where this quarterbacks was ranked, and they gave descriptions and things like that, assessing kind of each quarterback. That first 7, 1 through 7, fell in a category that they had titled "Best of the Best." And then Lamar Jackson in the number 8 position was the first quarterback listed in a very good option. And I can't really be mad at it, right? Would I necessarily have Trevor Lawrence above him? Not necessarily. Would I have Justin Herbert above him? Not necessarily. Would I have Aaron Rodgers above him? Not necessarily. But I can't be mad because they put him in at 8, simply because he has missed 30% of the games he could have been available for over the last 2 seasons because of injury. Okay, but so had a couple of the other quarterbacks who were listed above him, and so I'm not mad at Lamar Jackson. Some things they identified that probably had him at number 8 was that he had missed the end of the last 2 seasons. They spoke about the benefit of the Baltimore Ravens getting Odell Beckham, Zay Flowers for him in this season, and so I think that he could certainly rise his stock, and so I think 8 is okay, but I would probably slot Lamar Jackson in myself, probably at 6, putting him in the best of the best category. Okay. In a little bit, I'm gonna show you a clip of Chris Sims discussing Lamar Jackson and where Chris Sims has him ranked, and then we'll come back for some commentary after that video concludes. But so my order of ranking as I sit here on June 21st would be Patrick Mahomes number 1, no question. And I think Patrick Mahomes is a distant 1, way above everybody else. And I know I've seen a lot of commentary as I've been making content for the Baltimore Ravens and NFL, where people say he's better. I've had some people say that he was better, specifically Lamar Jackson was better than Patrick Mahomes. And And I'm not saying he's not, I'm not saying he is, but I'm just talking about the evidence says that he's not. The evidence says that it's not even close. Okay, I know that Patrick Mahomes played with some with some factors that Lamar Jackson has not had access to thus far, which was a mostly healthy team, elite offensive coaching, and elite and timely coaching on defense, which has nabbed him two Super Bowls, two Super Bowl MVPs, two regular season MVPs. And so, Lamar only has one. And so the fact of the matter is, it's not close. Could Lamar close that gap this year? Yes. But it's not close between Patrick Mahomes and anybody else. Okay. Number two, right now, I would probably put, just based on results, I'm probably going to put Jalen Hurts in the number two spot. Okay. Again, remember, I use the term current currency, meaning what are you bringing uh, in the most recent of times? And so Jalen Brown is the runner up in the not Jalen Brown, Jalen Hurts is the runner up in the most recent Super Bowl. He played very well, put up some good statistics. He was not the reason that the Philadelphia Eagles lost necessarily. He may have had something to do with it, but he wasn't the sole reason. And I thought he performed well on a big stage, just being in his third year. Um, and so that's what I think about Jalen Hurts. Um, I would slide in the number three position. I would then go with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has had some MVP talk around him the last couple of years. Joe Burrow has visited a Super Bowl but lost. Burrow has been to two consecutive AFC championships, so I have to afford him some credit for doing those things. Although, if the play hadn't played out like it did, the Tyler Huntley play, um, he wouldn't have been in the AFC championship, but it is what it is. Okay. Um, I would slide in that number four position. I'm gonna go Josh Allen. Josh Allen has been consistently good over his last 3 years since he got a new deal. Um, he has some lapse of judgment sometimes in big games, but I can't knock him holistic, for his total body of work is what I was gonna say. I can't knock him and slide him any further down than four. I would probably um slide. You know what? I'm gonna move Lamar Jackson up to that number five spot. And I'm gonna move Lamar Jackson into that number five spot because although Aaron Rodgers has had a more recent MVP than Lamar Jackson, his Super Bowl was so long ago that he doesn't continue to get credit for that. When I look at his last 5 years, which will coincide with the Lamar Jackson era, he hasn't done a whole lot. He's won some MVPs, but he hasn't done a whole lot. Hasn't visited a Super Bowl and has wet the bed a couple of times in NFC championships. And so, and that's with playing with the best receiver in the whole NFL for a good period of time. And so I'm gonna slide him down. Now, if he could prove me wrong with what he does with the Jets this year, certainly, and I will certainly adjust. But right now, Aaron Rodgers hasn't done more than Lamar Jackson, nor less than Lamar Jackson. Um, Trevor Lawrence had his first visit to the playoffs this past year, won the game against Justin Herbert. That's why I have Justin Herbert lower than Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence was way down, balled out, brought his team back, and defeated Justin Herbert and the Chargers. And so I'm going to put a little bit of that Chargers loss on Justin Herbert simply because if you're the quarterback of the team and you're way up, you got to continue to make plays to get that win. And so that's how I'm going to rank the top seven. Um, is Mahomes, Hurts, Burrow, Allen, Jackson, Rodgers, and then I'm gonna go Trevor Lawrence, and then Justin Herbert will move into Lamar Jackson's spot in eight. I am okay with that number six spot. I mean, I could see myself putting Aaron Rodgers in five just because he has a more recent MVP. But I'm gonna slot Lamar in a five. Um, I want to afford him some credit for having some new weapons and having an opportunity to change the narrative that's been around him the last couple of years. But let's take a look at a video from Chris Sims, see what he says about Lamar Jackson, and then we'll close out.
One more quarterback to talk about today.
Yeah.
And he is staying in this category of the leapers, and I will let you finish my sentence.
The leapers and Lamar Jackson.
Your
That's
number
right.
5 quarterback.
Number 5, Lamar Jackson. Right. Now, I know Trevor Lawrence had a better year. I know Jalen Hurts had a better year. Again, this isn't about just last year. Last year is the most important part of this puzzle, but I can't erase like the 5 years before that where the guy was in the MVP conversation. You know, injury, yes, a little concerning and certainly part of the conversation here. But like, let's the headline for him is don't get it twisted. His passing is legit. I wish we could have found something that rhymed, but we couldn't. Okay.
We could have.
I mean, he is has an elite arm. He's an elite passer. That's the one thing that when I looked at that jumps off the film to me, actually, when you watch it, is you sit there and you just go, his arm is elite in all areas. I mean, really, he's gifted. He's got great power. He's got great touch. I've told you what, I mean, we probably 5 times through this process. I don't know if there's anybody that has more releases in football other than Patrick Mahomes.
So thus far in Chris Sims' assessment in this podcast, a few things are super notable. One, he's given an assessment, sounds to be pretty honest and genuine of what he thinks about Lamar's ability as a quarterback beyond being able to run the ball. So his assessment makes Lamar more than just an athletic quarterback, more than just a mobile quarterback, which is probably why, when the Baltimore Ravens signed, Odell and Aguilar and drafted Zay Flowers, why, there was a lot of buzz about the Baltimore Ravens offense. But I want to make sure that we have an understanding that Lamar Jackson is what's going to make the whole offense go because he is so dynamic. But I wanted to share this video with you guys as Chris Sims and this other gentleman on this podcast continue to have a discussion about Lamar Jackson beyond what he can do with his legs.
When you really want to watch him game by game, nobody throws balls more sidearm or different ways than Lamar Jackson. I mean, he's on his back foot, throwing corner routes and just flicking it up there 25 yards, backs coming out of the backfield. He's, moving in the pocket, flicks it over there, great touch, power throws, can do that. And then, here's the other thing that people are mistaken about. He's phenomenal in the pocket. Phenomenal. You heard me say that before when I started to rattle things off. He doesn't get the respect for that. He doesn't look to run. He looks to throw. And then when all else fails, he runs. But his movement and sitting in the right spot in the pocket, the pocket's collapsing, let me slide here and throw a sidearm out the corner pocket here. He can do all of that. And that's where, I think people got to get off some of the narratives and just give him a little more respect in that department than what he gets, I feel like, publicly.
So I appreciate that. I appreciate the assessment of Lamar Jackson's pocket awareness, Lamar Jackson's ability to throw the ball at different angles, and how there is a slight comparison to Patrick Mahomes' ability to throw the ball. And And I think that up until this point in his career, Lamar Jackson just has not had the opportunity, whether it's been weapons, whether it's been scheme, whether it's been the offensive line protecting. He just has not had the opportunity to show his entire skill set. So I really, really appreciate this Lamar Jackson assessment. One more thing that's a point where he talks about Lamar moving around in the pocket and not looking to run. You know, a lot of times Lamar Jackson was associated with injury because he's a mobile quarterback or because he was a running quarterback. But in fact, it was Lamar Jackson trying to make a play in the pocket that got him hurt these last couple of years. And so, I just really, you know, I really like the assessment that Chris Sims is providing.
I think that's going to be surprising to maybe
Yeah.
some people if they're just listening to this or you for the first time, because normally the conversation with Lamar starts with the fact that he's an elite scrambler runner.
I know. He
can
is.
change games with his legs.
He's the second best runner in the game other than Justin Fields, right?
Now I will pause right there. Lamar Jackson is a better runner than Justin Fields because Justin Fields takes a lot of big hits, and the ability to run the ball and not take the big hits allows you to stay healthy longer. And so that's part of the reason why Justin Fields did not break Lamar Jackson's rushing record as a quarterback last year, is because he had taken some big hits and he had, I believe, some cracked ribs or something like that. And so he sat the last game out, or he possibly could have broken Lamar Jackson's rushing record. But no, Justin Fields, I don't believe, is a better runner than Lamar Jackson as a quarterback. Not that you want to compare your quarterbacks being better runners, but I don't think so, because Justin Fields has not learned to not take on those big hits.
I would still give him the edge over Jalen Hurts, right? Now, maybe not some of the power runs, but still in the open field and ripping off an 80-yard touchdown. I mean, it's still special. His ability extends plays and all that. Come on, it's insanity in the membranity. But it's a guy.
Okay, he should never say that again. Somebody needs to write into Chris Sims and say, never say that again. Never say insanity in the membranity. That is not cool. If I can say that, that is not cool. Chris Sims never needs to say that again.
That, like, as I told you before this show, you go back and watch and you go, man, there's so many good decisions. Man, there's so many high-level throws. And I don't come away in some of his worst games, the Giants game, the Bills game, I don't come away going, oh my gosh, he was missing throws and making bad decisions. And like, not at all. Their passing offense is average. It's below average in scheme. And then I would say with the talent they had around them in totality, probably about average too. So that's where you got to take that into account. And I think that's where people are going to see when they're going to play a little bit more through the passing game and the quarterback this year. I think you're going to see a little bit more of what he has to offer, you know, as a player. And it's special. And I think now that they got some receivers there too, and they're going to play a little bit more through the pass game, I think it's going to open up everybody's eyes to how good this guy actually is.
Chris Sims makes some super valid points about Lamar Jackson, his career, his accomplishments, his ability, all those kind of things. And so I think that when I initially put him at 6 and then moved him to 5, that's kind of in line with where Chris Sims has him ranked too. I think that the one thing that has Lamar Jackson as high as 5 for me, and maybe for Chris Sims, is that he has not been given a true opportunity to play with upgraded talent. Now, you guys know I've been super analytical, critiquing the Baltimore Ravens wide receiving group even after the upgrades, but that's more or less because I'm such a Lamar Jackson fan. I don't want people to get it twisted about Lamar Jackson if things don't go well this year. That's why I had an honest assessment about what we had in-house in the wide receiving grouping. Yes, they are better, but they were and are a bottom 10 group. Now they may come out this year and perform very well and, you know, raise their status, right? But until that happens, you know what I'm saying? They're still bottom 10 for me. So anyway, um, so Chris Sims has him at 5. I have him at 5. Let me know where you have him ranked. Do you have him ranked higher? Should somebody else that I have on my list be further down? Or is Rada Baller right? Is he more like an eighth ranked quarterback? So let me know what you want me to know, man. Stay tuned for the cheat code, man. Got some more good content. Next video, we're gonna talk about the trajectory. Simply meaning who's a quarterback who has played this game, who has a very similar narrative around him that Lamar Jackson's career seems to be trending towards, and we don't want that to happen. That's gonna be a two-part video, man. It's gonna be super interesting. Stay tuned for that. I'm your guy Boulanger. This is the GM, and I'm out.